Well, they saw this coming. That's what a local documentary filmmaker was told about 2 years ago.
And now he tells us what so many Ukrainians feared has come true. We first met documentarian Steve Boston in 2019. He wanted a better understanding from Ukraine's perspective of President Trump's conversation with President Zelensky, better known as the perfect call.
Each part to hate Nazis.
In a rented apartment, Boston sat down with a member of parliament, the former minister of infrastructure, and a political activist. But they didn't want to talk so much about Trump or the call. What they did instead was talk about Vladimir Putin and what he may do, and the importance of support from the United States.
And it's very dangerous for the state itself.
They definitely, I don't know if you use the word fear, but they had a lot of anxiety even then 2 years ago that the Russians would make a move.
They were right. Boston continues to get updates from the same folks who predicted this as they see the war firsthand.
We know that we are fighting for the right thing.
From your perspective, do you think that this is more difficult than Putin anticipated it would be?
I think it is, and I think from the Ukrainians' perspective, I think they are happy that Russia, in a way, thought that this would be easy because they just want to destroy whatever Russians they can find.
President Zelensky appears to now be open to potential negotiations with Putin, something Boston thinks may be of little choice in order to avoid a much broader European war.
My feeling is Russia is not going to walk away with their tail between their legs. I think they're going to try to do their best to win at all costs, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully the Ukrainians will have a lot of help to where Russia just finds a face-saving way out.
And Steve tells me, he wants to keep those lines of communication open.
Right.
He wants to share what they're saying with us on a weekly basis. But of course, we're all concerned about infrastructure. We hope those lines of communications can stay open so they can continue to video chat.
Yeah, we sure hope so. We'll see what happens. Russ, thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, we have learned a 9-month-old died in Cary.